Good evening, and welcome to our October board meeting. I call this meeting of the Bastrop Independent School District to order. Let the record show that a quorum of board members is present, that this meeting has been duly called. The notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. Please stand and join me in the pledges. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Texas pledge.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one indivisible.
Remain standing for me. I'd like to ask Paula Canby to come forward. She's from the Good Shepherd Lutheran Church in Bastrop, and she's going to offer a blessing and prayer tonight over our meeting.
Let us pray. Father God, tonight we come before you humbly, looking for guidance, looking for wisdom, looking for help. We thank you for all the blessings that you give us each and every day in so many different ways. And today we want to thank you for the blessing of Patsy Trigg and her service to this community throughout the years. And dear God, we have a couple of other things that we want to thank you for. First of all, for bringing the fire under control. And please, dear God, be with all the people who have been affected by this in whatever ways that may be, and especially for those people who have lost their homes. And tonight we also ask you to please be with the Miller family. You know what their needs are, dear God. Help them and guide them and protect them. And please, dear God, for the work that needs to be done in this meeting tonight, please guide these leaders to do your will in the very best way they can. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'd now like to call up Omar Cathcart. Please come forward. A little bit about Omar before he starts his speech. He's a fourth grader at Lost Pines Elementary School. We'll speak this evening about responsibility. Omar enjoys skating, football, swimming, fishing, and gardening. His mom, Sawana Barnaby, is here. Also, his stepdad is Patrick Johnson, his grandma is Janet Lincoln, and his great-grandma is Rosetta Burleson. If any of y'all are here, would y'all please stand to be recognized?
Omar is dead.
Great.
Mom's good.
Thank y'all for coming. Omar, you have the floor.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and School Board. Do you know what responsibility is? Responsibility is when you keep up with things and when you mess up, you fess up. It's being proud of your work and talking to people in a nice and joyful way. Being responsible is making sure you keep your book in your desk until it's time to turn in your books. It's reading every night for 30 minutes, and when you are at home or class, you have a big part of your work. I watched this football player, Marshall Lynch, and he has to be responsible. When I grow up, I want to play football, and to play football, I have to be responsible, very blunt and smart. I have to pass my grades to meet my goal of professional football, so will try my best to pass my grades in each class. I will keep up with my homework and try hard on it. I will raise my hand for to ask for help when it's needed. I will always listen to my mom and listen to my teacher. These are ways I will continue to show responsibility. I will do.
Hey, Omar, can you come up front, please? Because, man, they had that laptop, and I couldn't see your good-looking face. You're a good-looking young man. Can you shake my hand? You did an outstanding job. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Omar. It's the reason we do our job up here like we do every month, and a lot of these teachers is for kids like you. Thanks for representing Lost Pines and BISD. Steve, Superintendent Murray, we'll go ahead and let you introduce your
Absolutely.
students.
We have a couple of students with us tonight. Before I introduce them, I have them introduce themselves. I'm not going to let them off the hook because I know Emily wants to talk. Emily, you want to come to the podium? I know you're excited. You want to talk, don't you? I'm giving Emily a hard time. We were thrilled since the last board meeting. Myself, 3 of the board members, and 6 students from each of the 2 high school student advisory councils presented at a joint conference of the Texas Association of School Boards and Texas Association of School Administrators, and it's the largest convention of its kind in the United States, where we bring board members and administrators together. We had quite a few people in the room. I will say this: it was really neat. There was a lot of people that told us that they weren't planning on coming to our session, and they were walking down the hallway, and they looked in the door, and they saw students up in front about to present, and that got their attention, and so they came in and sat down, and they were glad they did. So we had a lot of feedback after the presentation. A lot of board members and school administrators, specifically superintendents, stuck around to speak to those 12 students, to speak to the board members, speak to myself, and most notably, they said, we're going to come to a future board meeting, we're going to come to a future student advisory council meeting, because we think this is really neat, and we want to see how you do it, and we want to start it in our school district. So we're excited about that, and I was able to just recently meet with both student advisory councils last week, and as always, one of my favorite things to do. We have 2 students here tonight representing Bastrop High School. The young ladies from Cedar Creek High School had conflicts and couldn't show up tonight, but we are glad we've got 2 students here to represent the Student Advisory Council at BHS. First of all, senior at Bastrop High School, Claire Gordon. And Claire, I'm going to let you get up in just a second and say a few words if you want to, anything beyond just introducing yourself. And then Emily Atterbury is a junior at Bastrop High School. So Claire, if you wouldn't mind, if you stand up and just talk a little bit about maybe the Student Advisory Council and what you plan on doing after you graduate.
I'm Claire Gordon, and I'm a senior at Bastrop High School. I've been on the superintendent of student advisory council for the section of first year. And after college, after high school, I plan to go to college. And I want to become a child life specialist.
Very good. And Claire, just real quick, you've only been under what, 2 meetings now? 2 meetings. So what, in that short period of time, do you think that you've seen in the Student Advisory Council, or maybe what you're going to get out of it as we go forward?
Well, I actually had no clue that it existed, so when I saw, I walked in, there was students surrounding a table, and we all talked about things that we want to fix in our school and things we like in our school. And it was just a student body talking about that. I thought that was really cool. I feel like we can get a lot of progress made to make sure that our school stays nice and the way we like it.
Very good. Thanks, Claire. All right, Emily, your turn. I know you're just busting at the seams. You want to talk.
I'm Emily. I'm a junior, and this is my second year at the council. I want to go to college, and after that, I want to be a teacher. Something about the advisory council that I like is that we come to Mr. Murray with all our problems, and then he always manages to fix them.
Well, I really appreciate all that credit. I really do, Emily. Emily, I'll pay you later. No, Emily knows, and so does Claire, because even in a short period of time, what we do is I'm kind of like the vehicle for the communication. It's just a way for me to stay connected to the students, since I'm not on the campus level administration like I was for so many years. But Emily's right. They speak with me, and then we discuss things, and we're able to really talk about great things that are going on and things they'd like to really see get better. And then I give all that information to their 2 campus leaders, Dr. Hewitt and Ms. Cornelius at Cedar Creek High School, and they're the folks that really get it done. But I appreciate that, Emily. Thanks for all that credit. And board members, let me remind you at some point, if there's something on the agenda or even something that's not on the agenda that you want to ask our 2 young ladies, I know they just don't want to sit there and be quiet. I know they want to have questions asked of them. So thanks, ladies, for being here. We appreciate it.
So we'll go ahead and continue with our special rate.
Absolutely. We have our folks in from Emily, are we in from the other room? Okay, just want to make sure. Okay, there you are. There you are. I didn't know. All right, folks. I tell you what, we have a lot of recognition, and rightfully so. Our students but we at times we have very special recognition, and we like to honor folks for great work. But the next person I want to honor, we're honoring her in a very specific way this evening. And as I said a little earlier when we had a come and go reception, I can't think of a more deserving person. Certainly in the 6 years I've been here, but then thinking and talking to people who have been here for so many years, the lives that this lady has touched, both as a teacher and just as a loving person, is just staggering, the amount of people. And who I'm talking about is Patsy Trigg. And Patsy Trigg, Patsy. Patsy Trigg retired how many years ago? 2, 3? 3 years ago, after 38 years of teaching at Bastrop High School. She's still teaching. She's getting my daughter through high school. She's my daughter's tutor and her confidant and one of her best friends. And she's just, but I bring that up as an example because she's like that with so many other people beyond my daughter. And so she's touched so many lives, and we couldn't think of a more fitting way. You know, we obviously a year or so ago honored Vivian Kreitner, and rightfully so, in naming the science building after Vivian. Well, you know, the math department is a little spread out, Dr. Garrett, right? And so Jason and I got together and we said, you know, Patsy's all about teaching and learning. And what's the hub of learning at any school? It's the library. So our library at Bastrop High School is going to be named in Patsy's honor as the Patsy Trigg Media and Learning Center. We can do that either way. Yeah, because we can get the bigger title on it. It's got to have a longer title.
Thank you. And let me just say that I'm very honored, of course, but let me say that Vivian was well deserved because Vivian taught me. She taught me all.
Thank you.
I'd also like to say that she continues to be involved with the school district as her role in Bastrop Education.
Bastrop Education Foundation, thank you.
On campus all the time now, serving grants and evaluating grants and helping make sure that the district at large is getting what they can and what they need from the foundation.
I also want to say publicly, because we had a lot of people come to the come and go reception for about an hour, but we are going to have another ceremony, a ribbon cutting, if you will. When we get the lettering for the high school, we'll have another opportunity, and we'll put out advance notice for people that want to come honor Patsy again at that time. All right, more recognition. We love recognition. It's the majority of our meeting tonight is recognition. That's good stuff. The governor of Texas, Governor Abbott, declared the month of October Principal Appreciation Month. And so really quickly, I want to read a resolution from the governor, and then we are going to honor our principals in Bastrop ISD who do such a wonderful job leading our great campuses. From the state of Texas, Office of the Governor, as school leaders, principals are entrusted with our most valuable resource, our next generation of leaders. These students are our promise for the future, and it is critical that they receive a rigorous and well-rounded education. Principals are more than just caretakers of their schools. Principals are expected to be educational leaders, disciplinarians, community builders, spokesmen, budget analysts, and guardians of policy, mandates, and initiatives. Principals set the academic tone for their schools and work collaboratively with teachers to set performance objectives and maintain high curriculum standards. Each year, organizations nationwide designate the month of October as a time to recognize the contributions of elementary, middle, and in our case, intermediate and high school principals. Make sure I got that. At this time, I encourage all Texans to acknowledge the important role principals play in ensuring that every child has access to a high-quality education. Therefore, I, Greg Abbott, Governor of Texas, do hereby proclaim October 2015 to be Principals Month in the state of Texas. Thank you, and congratulations to principals. to do is, I'm going to name our principals real quick, and I'm going to ask them at the end of the meeting, because they're going to be here for campus improvement plan presentation or discussion. And so at the end of the meeting, then they'll come up. We have wonderful baskets that were put together in their honor. Lots of goodies in there. Hopefully they can enjoy that. And just want a small token of our appreciation for our campus leaders. Thank you very much. Just real quick, just to make sure everybody knows by name, Blue Bonnet Elementary, Allison Hall. Cedar Creek Elementary, Melinda Marquez. Neal Elementary, Dr. Jennifer Renitsky. Lost Pines Elementary, Melinda Gardner. Mina Elementary, Reba King. Red Rock Elementary, Laura Kersmer. Bastrop Intermediate School, Stephen Autry. Cedar Creek Intermediate School, Sean Adams. Bastrop Middle School, Dr. Chris Julian. Cedar Creek Middle School, Rob Henserling. Bastrop High School, Dr. Jason Hewitt. Cedar Creek High School, Bridget Cornelius. Genesis and Circa High Schools, Martin Conradi. And Gateway High School, Patricia Alford. Thank you, and we appreciate all your hard work.
We'll move on to superintendent's reports, board discussion, and we'll start with Panay. Curriculum report.
Some of the things that they used to reach their net standard was they focused on the student learning progress, their targeted interventions, professional learning communities, and teacher development for leadership effectiveness. What they're going to continue at Bluebonnet, they are going to continue with their high yield strategies. They are going to increase their attention with instruction pre-K through 2, all levels, strengthen their writing in all grades, as well as their professional learning community activities. The new strategies at Bluebonnet will include increasing the focus on their post-secondary readiness, writing in all grades, increase the frequency in classrooms with their learning walks, and deepening their discussions with their academic vocabulary. So with Emil, not Mina, sorry. I'll put them on an alphabetical order. So Mina Elementary, how they reach their goals, they used a program called Model Classroom Project. They will continue that this year. They started using student data folders, professional learning communities to help them meet their standard, in-school tutoring, as well as interventions for level 3. What they will continue to use at Mina, early literacy, professional development, K through 2, writing, professional developments for 3 and 4. The new strategies at Mina will include carefully monitoring their different student groups with dyslexia, special ed, RTI, and the LEP students. They are going to have data meetings this year, as well as identifying students for targeted level 3 growth. So our last campus would be Emil Elementary. How they reach their net standard is they raise their expectations for instruction. They improve the culture within their PLCs, implemented student data laws, as well as implementing their TIP, which is their targeted improvement plan with fidelity. What they will continue to use at Emil will include
New strategies at email will include campus-wide focus on writing, closing the gaps in reading and math by examining their student data with groups as well as individual students, and specific training for their in-school tutors. In your board packet, you also received a Pathways to Improvement handout. We went over that information last month with our other campuses, so I'm not going to repeat that for you. Did you guys have any questions at this time?
I just wanted to comment on, I hope that these campuses can stop to reflect on what you have accomplished, because you really have accomplished a great deal, and it is showing in your and I know you see it showing in your students, and I just want to compliment you on that, and just think of possibilities of what can come next. But I know it's taken a lot of hard work, a lot of personal time, and we certainly appreciate that, what you've done.
Thanks, Renee.
Thank you. Sandra, financial report.
This is actually just an information item as it's a possible change to a policy. A few years ago, the legal policy changed the requirement for board approval of purchases over $25,000. They increased that to $50,000. Our board at that time chose to keep the more restrictive amount. So we're just asking the board to go back to the legal policy. What I should say, as far as purchasing in general, the district, our procedure, our administrative regulations, we require anything over $2,500 to get quotes, so we always know we're getting the best price. So that won't change. This doesn't change that we're always going to try to get the best prices, but it's just the things that have to actually come to the board. And this is just more in line with the legal policy. If you're agreeable to that, next month it'll be on the agenda for approval. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Sandra.
Sandra, example of that, if we get $200,000 or $300,000 from the state to buy textbooks, and we go out for bid and we break that up, and one vendor's $23,000 and one's $47,000, is that something the board's still gonna see or vote on due to? It was a
Yes, because if it's you would vote on it in the aggregate. So if it's over a certain amount of money, like if we spend a certain amount on any one, like on, well, all textbooks, IMA funds have to be approved by the board. But yes, anything over 25 or 50,000, 25,000 or 50,000 has to be approved. But it's in the aggregate of all, not just. And yeah, we can't get by with just breaking things out into smaller amounts. So yeah.
thank you.
So now we're going to operations and safety report update by Superintendent Murray.
Thanks, James. Just want to real quick, and I think it's important to give you some stats. You know, one of the things I want to do also is introduce our two officers. You know, they've been busy at work. They haven't stopped. They hit the ground running, right, guys? Let me do that first. James Miller. James, stand up, please, in the back. James is our Bastrop feeder pattern officer and doing a great job for us. And Manny, please stand up. Manny is our Cedar Creek feeder pattern officer and also is filling in right now as interim chief, as we are in the search for a new chief of police and chief of operations. Guys, welcome. We're so glad and we're really pleased with the work that's already been done. Thank you. Real quick for the folks in the audience, for your edification, Monday, September 21st, the police department became fully operational. We were fully commissioned with the two officers that were just introduced. And then at the time, our interim police chief, Waylon Rhodes, was commissioned as our chief. Bastrop and Cedar Creek High Schools and juvenile service processing was approved. Bastrop ISD police vehicles, the wrapping, if you will, with the graphics was complete. They're very nice looking, by the way. Yeah, heard a lot of things about our police cars. Laptop software installed for officers, do the reports, dispatching by Bastrop County Sheriff. We also want to say thank you and give a shout out to our Bastrop County Sheriff's Department and to the Bastrop PD for all the work that they've done and continue to do with us in partnership with the Bastrop ISD Police Department. Truancy at the start of the year, there was 298 unaccounted students by September 30th. The deadline for this district to submit its numbers to the state, only 34 students had not been officially accounted for. And we appreciate the efforts of both attendance officers and for their diligence in bringing down the numbers significantly, and the work of all the folks who do that each year for us. And it's broken down by campus, so I won't do that right now. Facilities, this is again an operational report as well. Several inside cameras were not functioning properly. Those are all been repaired. Several exterior cameras had bad connectivity, and new terminals were installed to make those work. Several cameras have been readjusted. And then again, per campus, there's so many things here that have been done. Future projects, evaluation of safety and security cameras for all campuses. Meeting scheduled with our partners, Solar City and Schneider Electric. And then we continue to assess and evaluate the needs at each campus with our partners, GCA Services. Food Services, Chartwells, and cafeteria staff recently received recognition of Red Rock Principal Laura Kersmer was reported here by Mr. Rhodes for their outstanding service to the students and overall great job. Again, these were things that have been taking place since the beginning of the school year. And then Transportation Services, our partner, Gold Star, is doing a great job for us, as they always have. And we want to thank Derek Hay, the manager, for doing that as well. Just Wayland put this together just for everybody's information as well. Wayland Rhodes was our interim police chief and chief of operations, and Wayland has since decided to leave and look at other opportunities outside of Bastrop ISD. So we are currently posting the position of chief of police and chief of operations, and we've already gotten several applications in, and we'll be moving forward pretty quickly with interviews on that. So any questions from the board or about safety or operations, or if our police officers are here tonight, and we again wanted to introduce them and tell them thanks for all the great work they've already done. And believe me, folks, they've been busy.
Thank you, Superintendent Murray. We'll now go with our communications services report. Emily Parks.
Just two very quick updates, and y'all have this information in your packet. I just want to go over it verbally and then answer any questions that you might have. First, strategic design. As you know, that Bastrop ISD is in its final year of its current 5-year strategic plan. This is a traditional strategic plan that had objectives, goals, and then steps to reach each of those goals. As we move forward, we are going to change that process up a little bit. We've contracted with Engage to Learn. They are a strategic design and professional development organization that helps with meeting the goals of the district in innovative and engaging ways. So we'll be looking at, rather than having a traditional and very strict format of a strategic design, a strategic plan, looking at a strategic design and actually laying a foundation for something that will help us build and change the way that we look at how we educate our students and how we provide teaching and learning to our kids. So we'll be designing learner profiles. Learner profiles, they identify for our community by talking with parents, students, teachers, our whole educational community, in which ways a student learns best. So we want to not only look at our traditional models of how teachers are taught, but then also look at how students learn and make sure that we're giving a holistic view and educating all of our kids. Those learner profiles will include information on student interests, learning preferences and styles. It'll also look at differences that are related to culture, to personality, to diversity within our district. It might also include information on learning strengths, specific needs and types of support that we've had in the past, and what we need, what's been successful, what we need to look at moving forward. It'll allow for growth within the district with not only Bastrop ISD, but by campus, and then by grade level, and then by classroom. Very dynamic in the way it's delivered and provided. The qualities of that profile are intended to inspire and motivate our teachers, so they have the ability to look at a learner profile, understand what their learner needs, and they may have various learners in their classrooms, but then find ways to meet those needs through various teaching styles and abilities. So part of our strategic design will look at, once we identify what that learner profile is, what do we as a district need to do to ensure that our teachers can meet those needs. So rather than having very prescriptive, here's your goal, and then here are the steps that you have to meet to
take to meet that, we'll be looking at what resources do our teachers need in order to meet the needs of our students. So you may have communication needs, you may have professional development needs, resource needs, equipment needs. We're looking all the way down to the type of chair that the students in. All of those things will be incorporated into one document that will give us the flexibility to meet the educational needs of our community and not just kind of follow that prescriptive and traditional model of education. Overall, specifically your question. Any questions on our strategic design?
Let me ask, Emily, you've been on the council for well, not quite a year and a half, but I mean, I'll ask both y'all, but you think students should be involved in the strategic design for the school district? Yeah? Why? You knew I was gonna ask why.
So you know, like what you said, how they learn, you have to get their opinion about how they learn the best, so they can
Okay.
get the highest level of education and end up graduating as educated as possible.
Okay.
So bringing y'all in on that process, telling us what works for you and what you like and don't like.
Yeah, it's really what we do on a monthly basis. They get to do with me, but this is looking at it holistically across the district, you know. Emily, want to add anything? Why did I have a feeling you were gonna say this? Emily, I'm gonna give you one just suited for you. I'm gonna give you a question here just for you here in a minute, okay?
Could I ask you, are you, when I read this, I got excited about this. Are you surprised that we would be looking at a big study and the focus would be how you learn rather than, you know, what we're supposed to teach you? I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I think it's good that you're focusing on the students instead of just
Maybe just
just-
assuming what you need, really
Just
finding out.
assuming, right,
Yeah.
right. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Any other questions? The final portion of my report is a brief update on the communication audit that was completed in September. We do not have our official full-on report back from the National School PR Association, but I've spoken with the auditors and they're working on that diligently and will have it to us, hopefully by the time we get to the fall break. So, we did, Mr. Murray and I did meet with them following their final focus groups, and after meeting with each of you and several of our community members and our staff members, they gave us a big picture look at some of the things that they identified. We were very encouraged by what we heard. Mr. Murray and I both felt like what came out of it, there wasn't anything surprising. There's nothing shocking that we, just need to dramatically change the way that we're doing anything. But we're very encouraged that the information really validated what we already know and the changes that we're already moving forward with. So some of the positive and defining details that we heard from the auditors are that our community has a wonderful small town feel that really builds up and supports our schools. Our parents, our staff members, and the students that we talk to all appreciate that and think that that's an important piece of what makes Bastrop ISD Bastrop ISD. We have great diversity in programming and opportunity for students. Students really have a chance, whether it be at the elementary level all the way up to the high school, to be involved in something outside of school. We saw that through our previous strategic plan, and it's something that everybody really congratulated and championed as something that needs to stick as part of our fabric in our district. Specifically speaking about communication, social media is a great tool. Parents feel very, very communicated with because of it. Students really enjoy the ability to be able to have two-way communication with administrators and with Mr. Murray, and then having that, and now that Mr. Murray is on social media, it's going to be even better.
I was
than
pushed kicking and screaming into
He
Twitter.
was, but now y'all can not only y'all can tweet him.
Oh, I'm a Twitter star now, it's amazing.
Overall, undoubtedly, parents and staff trust that they will be communicated with and receive information. They felt very strongly that the district is very open and transparent, and that we do a very good job with that, and they want to see it continue. Some of the challenges that we'll address include obviously the changing demographics that we're seeing within our community and in our school district. Specifically looking at consistency in communication with low SES and Hispanic-speaking, or Spanish-speaking families. That was one piece of the audit that came out, that it's hit or miss, depends on the feeder pattern, depends on the campus, depends on the level. So, we're working at, the district level to put some procedures in place and some, abilities to make sure that we can really hone that in, make sure that everybody is getting the same thing, no matter what, and we're doing it in a very productive and appreciative way.
Yeah, and we're doing it also, we're getting a lot of help from Patricia, because Patricia's doing such good work with our ELL parents right now, so there's a lot of tie-in, yes. A lot of tie-in between what we heard from the communications audit and gleaned from those focus groups and what Patricia's already doing. So I think we're gonna be able to work very closely together and reach out even further.
Definitely, and Patricia was very instrumental in getting a number of Spanish-speaking parents to participate in the communication audit. And we just got so much information there that it actually turned into, the auditors have provided us with a diversity toolkit that we'll be able to look through and use and put in place within the district to meet our needs. And so once I get all of that information, I'll be working with Patricia to make sure that not from the district level, all the way down to the site level and campus levels, that we're working together to ensure that consistency.
Ladies, let me ask y'all, I mean, you've been in school in this system for a long time, right? I mean, what is it that we could be doing as far as the students are concerned, or even to your family, that we could be doing a little bit better, or maybe something different that we're not doing that would help with communications? Can you think of anything?
I really like the keyboard and Twitter now. That's actually a lot.
Okay.
And a lot more emails if they remind that.
And I know your principal is, and I know Ms. Cornelius as well, using Remind One-on-One. Is that very helpful for y'all as far as a communications tool to get information out really quickly to y'all about things? Yeah? Okay. Claire, anything about communications?
I like the Remind One-on-One a lot because I don't have to go on social media, it just like notifies me as soon as it's a relevant issue. So that's really helpful.
Very good. Thanks.
Mr. Murray, I'd like to add to that, as a parent of a sixth grader in Mr. Autry's campus there, one or two of her teachers send out weekly what they're gonna be working on and the lesson plan, and also a link to when we're helping them with their homework, how we can help them. And so that's very helpful, not only for me, but when I don't know what to do, I send them across the street to Miss Molly's house. But, so
I look
think-
at how to do it.
Right, exactly.
I sent mine to Patsy, so.
Right. But where I'm going with that, I've experienced it, my wife and I have been at home, and we can get online and find the answer, but are we using the same technique as they're learning in the classroom? And so.
How to do it, not the answer.
Right, how to do it and things like that. And so, that is very helpful, and I know I was part of this audit, and that was some of the things that we highly encourage, because it is very, very helpful.
And I am looking forward to a lot of those in-depth details to find out how, changes that we can make, all the way down to the classroom level to support teachers, to support kids. That's what our goal is in the communications department, whether it be, overall district-wide communications, or, how can I help a teacher update their website? Just covers all of that. So in closing, like I said already, we're really encouraged by the fact that we're already on a path to addressing many of the challenges that were brought up by this audit. The opportunities we know are there, and we really, many of the things we've either already fixed, already made changes to address, or are incorporating them into other changes that we're doing district-wide. So I think we'll be very happy with the result there.
Emily, do you do Twitter tutorials?
I do. I actually do. I teach them statewide through my state organization, and actually my colleagues here joined me at one once in San Antonio.
Good. And see, I learned so much. Well, actually, she started for me, but that's all that story. But I'm using it. I'm using it now, yes.
Anyone that wants help with Twitter, let me know, and I'll be glad to give you a one-on-one. It's very quick. Okay.
Thanks, Emily. Thank you.
Mr. Murray, I would like to recognize Ms. Parks. Last week, she had the opportunity of talking to Governor Abbott out of the wildfires. They had a briefing there about what's going on, and each entity reported and you gave a very professional, very thorough, and very confident report to Governor Abbott, and thank you for that service.
Thanks, Emily.
Thank you. Now we're going to move on to our consent agenda. If any board member wants to pull anything, we'll do that now. If not, we're going to entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda, item A through G. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Motion carries. We'll move to the first of our action items, and we'll ask Panay to come back up.
We've asked this before, but while Ms. Leeper's doing that, Claire, again, you've been in the school district for a while. We said this earlier. We introduced these two officers. What do you think about us having our own police force?
I didn't really notice that we had our own police force until like a student came up to me and were like, "Do you know if there's a police officer on campus?" And like I don't really notice a lot of fights breaking out anymore. As like there was a lot last year, but I haven't noticed any circumstances like that. Like most incidents are pretty minor.
Okay. Emily, you wanna respond to that?
I do think that now that there are police at our school, we feel a little bit more safe than last year. And like Chris said, there were a lot more fights.
Good. We have less of those. That's always good. Yeah. Thank you. All right, Panay.
Okay, so we're gonna go over our Bastrop ISD campus improvement plans for 2015-2016. You guys got a copy of those a couple weeks ago and had time to review. Just like with our district improvement plans, there were some things that were highlighted in blue, so that referenced the things that we're gonna drop off of the plan for 15-16. There were items highlighted in yellow. Those items are the new items for campus improvement plans. So all the other items are carried forward. At the back of the plan, there was state comp ed information. It was blank. That will be completed by the end of October, and we will get that information to you as soon as we have that information completed. There was a strand throughout all the plans that referenced our writing in the district. So I wanted to kind of pull out some of those threads that were consistent through the plans. The support structures we have are writing coach. We use the Von Gross Center for some staff development. We have writing mentors in the district, and we're doing some guided reading, professional development with Region 13, as well as the Central Texas DLL Collaborative. Some of the training that's taken place district-wide was thinking maps, sheltered instruction. We have several writing cohorts going on currently. We are writing across the content areas, and we are using Writers Workshop. The action and implementation for the writing in our district, we are working on word programs fluency, writing conferences with students, writing academies, daily writing across the content areas, displaying products through the Writing Wall of Fame. Writing assignments are created in all the PLCs. We are assessing our students' reading and lexile levels in all the elementary campuses. We also have vertical alignment committees. We've invited the principals here this evening to answer any questions you may have specifically about a campus improvement plan. So at this time, do you
Thanks,
guys
Billy.
have any questions for our campus principals?
I just want to say what I said earlier applies to everyone, not just to the campuses that were featured in the earlier presentation. Because I know that you are diligently working and toward meeting the needs of all of your students and showing success, or having them show success. So I just wanted to clarify that to be sure that you understood that I meant all of you that have done so much and worked so hard.
Do the campus, do the elementary principals collaborate because we have some that obviously did a little better than others. Do some of those principals collaborate together? For example, Red Rock and Mina, Blue Bonnet. So,
Yes, and then as we went through the whole youth assessment process, I know for Red Rock, that's one thing I did was reach out to Lost Pines, who performed very well, CCE, who's our sister campus, so lots of sharing of plans and collaborating from our youth assessment forward, so that we have some consistency in those high yield things and successful.
great.
The campus improvement plan is a long process. You start doing some needs assessment work in February, and it takes, and so we're at the end of October for these to be presented to you for approval. So there's a lot of work that goes into, developing the plans and needs, before they actually get to you, so yes.
One of the things I want to state that I stated earlier when we were meeting with the principals, we had a luncheon for them today because it's Principals Month, as we well know. And I've been doing this at faculty meetings across the district. I'm going to each faculty meeting, each campus this fall at a faculty meeting, and I'll do it again in the spring, just so I can have FaceTime with the faculty all at one time. I'll go to campuses and I'll visit classrooms and visit kids, but this gives them a chance to ask questions if they want to. And what I've said to each campus is specifically the campuses below the high school level, because in any campus, I'm not just talking about Bastrop ISD, typically the high schools get a lot of notice. They get a lot of, they're highlighted just by nature of all the things they do, all the activities they have. They're in the newspaper more and things like that with sports and fine arts and whatnot. But there's so many great things going on in our school district from the very beginning. Our foundational grades, our pre-K and K, kindergarten, phenomenal things are going on. So specifically when I talk to those campuses and I talk to those faculties, I tell them not to forget that they are the foundation for everything that happens in this district. It's a continuum. If a high school has multiple distinctions, if a middle school is doing something great with robotics, if the fine arts are great at a campus, if we're doing well on the court and the field, which by the way we are, it started somewhere else. It doesn't happen in a vacuum. It started at the lowest levels in our district, and I want our elementary principals, our intermediate principals, and our middle school principals, along with our high school principals, to understand that. And I would like our parents to understand that it is a continuum, that you build on those skills that start at a very early age, and we were talking about learner profile earlier. We're building a learner all along. And then what you hope to have is a graduate profile. What do we want our graduates to look like when they walk the stage and they're ready to go do whatever they choose to do after they graduate from high school? So again, I wanted to say it publicly at the board meeting tonight because I've been saying it individually at faculty meetings and again with the principals this afternoon, but just want everybody to understand that regardless of where the notice or the accolades are, or the recognition, it should be shared by everybody across the district because they all do an outstanding job.
At this time, I would recommend that the board approve the campus improvement plans for Bastrop ISD 2015-16.
I so move.
It's moved and seconded to approve the campus improvement plans as presented. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The opposed say nay. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for all your hard work on the campus improvement plans. Now it's the time of year where the Board of Directors for the Central Appraisal District takes nominations for their board, and BISD carries a lot of weight in that. So tonight, the district, after we vote, we need to submit a name to the appraisal district based on our nominations and our votes. So this will be a board decision. Just to give you a rundown, there's 5,000 total votes for the Bastrop Central Appraisal District. BISD has 2145 of those votes. So not quite half, pretty close. So tonight, we're going to take nominations for that board that we will recommend to the Board of Directors of the Bastrop Central Appraisal District for years 2016, 2017.
Just to catch the board up here a little bit, Mr. Red we appointed, was it last year, Sandra? He's been on there a couple of years? 2 years. 2 years, HR professional, I believe for the state division in Austin of some sort. And so Mr. Redd has expressed interest in being placed back on the board. The county and the school districts and the cities within the county all have an opportunity to vote, and so this is our nomination. I think personally, it would be important to have Mr. Redd serve on that board again with his HR experience, since they are going to be going out for a search for a new chief appraiser. And so he is very passionate about it and is very clear on what we need to be able to take this county in a new direction with that organization. So I make a motion to nominate David Redd to serve on the board of directors for the Bastrop Central Appraisal District.
It's been moved and seconded to nominate David Redd to serve on the Board of Directors for the Bastrop Central Appraisal District. And basically, we'll be giving his name. It doesn't guarantee him a spot, but we'll be turning that name in if the vote goes on. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. So we will deliver Mr. David Redd's name to the Bastrop Central Appraisal District after the meeting. Other than that,
Ladies, anything you want to add before we finish? Because it's your last chance.
I have a question.
There, I knew somebody would ask a question.
Now, tell me again what it is that you want to major in college.
There's kind of like a long backstory, but I'll just sum it up. I had a 4-year-old cousin, and she was diagnosed with leukemia, and so while she was in the hospital, I went and stayed a few nights with her. And at the end of the hall, there was a playroom where a lady worked, and she was a child life specialist, which is basically a child and family psychologist. And so my cousin, she would like peek her head out the door every single day looking to see if the playroom is open, because she'd be cooped up in that hospital room, and she just want to be like a kid and play, so she would want to go and play in the playroom. So I want to be that escape for the kids that are either they're dealing with a terminal issue or they'll like eventually get better, and I want to be their like escape and also help the family deal with what's going on.
And Claire, on that note, your cousin, what the good news about we're in remission?
Finished with chemo, she's all done.
All right.
And I have a question for Emily, not to put you on the spot.
Please do.
I think this is important because this was kind of the passion to start the police department for Bastrop ISD. Is there anything else that we could be doing, or the officers can be doing to make y'all feel more safe?
Well, I think we're pretty good now.
Great.
Emily, I know you're just a junior, but what are your plans? I know specific. I know you want to go to college, but specifically. That's fine. We'll talk later. I'll sway you one way, but that's okay. What do you want to major in?
I want to major in education.
That's right. You said you want to be a teacher. Do you?
Probably like kindergarten.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. Thank you, ladies, for being here tonight. We appreciate you. Thank you. Thanks, James.
well, one of the last things on behalf of the board, and I know Steve said it early, but on behalf of the board, we want to recognize Patsy Trigg one more time, because Patsy, when it comes to education or teaching in our community, Patsy Trigg is a household name, and that's pretty special. So we want to recognize you one more time, and thank you for all your service for BISD.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for doing it.
Honored to be at Bastrop. Y'all have honored me. I say that from high school. I was there 37 years. 1 year I started out at the junior high, so that's why I always think in terms of high school, but BISD. It is my home, but
That's
I
awesome.
do bleed maroon.
That's awesome. Uh-oh.
We understand, we understand.
It's okay, It's okay, Bridget. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. The last thing I'd like to say, and any board member could add anything, is another thing, we want to recognize the principals because the board knows that you're chosen for a reason for your campus, your leadership, your foresight to see what's coming down the road. It's not always about the challenges, it's about how you react to the challenges. And we know you're handpicked. We know you're there for a reason. We know that the work that goes into this and some of the struggles that goes along with it. So we want to tell you that we really appreciate you from all of us up here on the board. So thank you for what you're doing.
And James, I'd like to add to that as well, just to kind of echo what James has said. I know you have a tough job, and I know when you hear from Mr. Edwards or Mr. Berry, or when we as the board hear from the public, and most of the time it's not always good. And so thank you for what you do. Thank your APs as well. The world is changing. You can hear it tonight in the meeting about media and social media and everything else, and so I know it's a lot to keep up with, but I hope you can see that we are a very compassionate board, and we are a very supportive board for what you do, and so thank you again.
I'd like to thank all the principals that I've visited the campuses as part of the Bastrop Education Foundation. When I've been there to visit for grants, observation, evaluation, or for the early act first night ceremonies or instruction, I kind of can't help but blame principals for getting me on this board. I'm so excited about what y'all are doing on campus and what the job is that y'all are doing there, that you got me excited.
There's nothing else. Thank you again, and it's time for adjournment.
Principals, make sure you come up and get your baskets.
So moved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Second.